What's up, everybody? Welcome to Blow the Whistle, the place where we don't just talk about the game, we blow the whistle. If you're new here, let me set the tone. This is where sports, culture, and keeping it real collide. No hot takes just for clicks, no fake outrage, just honest opinions, laughs, and a whole lot of love for the game. This is a father and son armchair quarterbacking podcast. 2 generations, 1 mic, and 0 filter. We're not claiming to have all the answers, but we do have opinions. Sit back, lock in, and enjoy the conversation. And if something doesn't smell right, or if the take is a little too over the top, you already know what to do. Blow the whistle. Welcome back to Blow the Whistle, where the games don't just get played, they get judged. Tonight, the NFC Championship is on the table. Rams versus Seahawks. One team flying high, and the other trying to remind the world they still matter. And Patriots versus Broncos. Legacy on one sideline, pressure on the other. This ain't just football, this is resume season. But while teams are fighting for a trip to the Super Bowl, the league itself is spinning like a carousel with no brakes. Coaches are getting hired, coaches are getting fired. Some are getting promoted, and some are getting escorted out the building with a cardboard box and a "we'll talk later." We're breaking down why Sean McDermott is out, why John Harbaugh thinks he can make it in New York, where legends get tested, pretenders get exposed, and confidence alone doesn't buy a subway pass. Why Kevin Stefanski is headed to Chocolate City, where the culture is rich, the expectations are thicker, and the margin for fitting in is really slim. And how this coaching shuffle keeps telling us the same truth. Some franchises plan, while others just hope the noise covers the cracks. And don't worry, Dallas, we see you. We're talking Cowboys' needs and whether new defensive coordinator Christian Parker is the answer, or just another chapter in a very familiar story. Big games, big decisions, but bigger consequences. Let's talk football. Let's blow the whistle.
Blow the whistle. Blow the whistle. Blow the whistle.
2-1. All right, before we go into the NFL, I'm going to talk about the national championship that happened on Monday, where Indiana beat Miami 27-21. Key players for Indiana was Fernando Mendoza, who threw for 186 yards, was MVP, and had a 12-yard touchdown run in the fourth quarter to basically seal the win. Miami, Carson Beck threw for 232 passing yards, 1 touchdown, but had that late interception late in the fourth quarter. Mark Fletcher ran for 112 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns. Malachi Tony, 122 yards, 1 touchdown. And defensive end Ruben Bain with 8 tackles, 1 sack, and 2.5 tackles for loss. Indiana's scoring margin before the game, mind you, was 28.6 points per game, which is the largest in college football. And Miami, even though it was 27 points, it was less than the points per game. And I thought Indiana was going to run with this one. I mean, they beat Oregon pretty bad. They beat Alabama pretty bad. Everyone they went up against was humiliating, except for Ohio State in the Big Ten national championship. But I was still surprised by Miami's defense, and although they lost, they still were good. That defense is a monster, and Ruben Bain is really, really, really good. Credit to Indiana and their coaching staff, Kurt. And this is their first national championship they've won. And the first time a team in the current modern playoff system went 6-0, won a national championship. The quarterback efficiency, both quarterbacks did not throw for 300, and Fernando especially didn't even throw for 200. Fernando Mendoza was in a system where he doesn't throw that much, but he manages the game at a very efficient level. When he's giving it to his running back, throwing it, it does not matter how many passing yards he has. He plays at an efficient level. He plays to win, not the stat pad. Carson Beck, on the other hand, he gave the ball to Mark Fletcher, but he was still throwing it like he normally does. And that late interception in the fourth quarter basically turned the tide of this game. Miami was in very good position to tie or potentially even win the game, but something happened. Carson Beck threw a ball, which I don't believe he should have thrown, and game over. And both teams leaned a lot on the running game. Mark Fletcher, 112, 2 touchdowns, while Indiana had 79 yards for Kalen Black, and Roman Hemby had 60. And they both carried the ball 40 times, or combined for 40 times. All right, so my question is, both teams did really good, really well, went to the national championship, and although Miami didn't win, still had a good showing. But will both these teams still be prominent next year and even maybe come back to the national championship? Not fighting each other, but at least one of them could go back to the national championship.
If I had to bet on who will go back to the national championship, I would say it would be Miami. And it's not to say that, Indiana is not worthy and they don't have a team built to go back. I'm just pretty much just going on history, you know. But I will say this. I think the two best teams were in the national championship this year. And the reason why I say that is because if you think about it, Indiana beat a Miami team that beat Texas A&M.
Yeah.
Right? They beat Ohio State.
Yeah.
And they beat Ole Miss.
Yes.
Out of those 3 games, the one against Texas A&M was probably the least enthusiastic win.
Yeah.
10-3 or whatever. Nonetheless, Miami, a team that was going into it was ranked 10th? And
they were ranked 10th.
And they went through a gauntlet and still had an opportunity to win that game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So with that being said, Indiana was the better team.
Oh, yeah.
Because they beat a team that literally ran a gauntlet against the SEC and the best Big Ten team. So I'm with you with all the stats and everything else. This was a close game that it could have been either or, but this is what I'll say. You know who won that game for Indiana? Fernando Mendoza.
Fernando! He won that game.
That run, that 12-yard run, that was the difference.
That changed how that run basically impacted that whole game and impacted college football.
I'm with you because I think that every time we have a national championship game, leading up to it, they're going to play that highlight run,
Yes.
of him, for the simple fact that he was the quarterback of Indiana. Nobody can convince me otherwise except for the people in cornfield country, Indiana, that they thought Indiana would make it to a national championship. They didn't even believe it. Nobody. And if anybody tried to tell me otherwise, they're lying.
Yeah.
Nobody had Indiana pegged.
Yeah. Indiana was probably
16-0 overall. We didn't have many teams that were able to do that.
No, and most of them are in FBS schools.
Yes. And for them to do that, man, hats off to Mendoza, hats off to the coaching staff and to those players, because you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm still trying to find out and name players on that team besides Mendoza, Chirac. I'm serious, and the only reason why I know them two is because they have unique names.
Yeah, I only know Mendoza.
I'm just being for real.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Miami, hey man, hats off to them, because I'm really looking forward to Miami now, because I think what this game has done for Miami, Miami gonna get a lot of looks from people coming out in the transfer portal, and they're going to have a lot of looks of these, top 10 or high school players coming out. Because I'm still convinced that, to me, it's something about the U and playing at Miami. Don't get me wrong, I am a, Texas fan through and through. But there's something unique about playing with Miami. And I sensed it in that game. Like, they were down 10, they came back, and Carson Beck still had a chance to win that game. I'm not for sure why he threw that pick, or why he threw it up.
Yeah.
But, hey, they had a chance to win, and that's all you could ask for. This is probably one of the most exciting national championships games I've seen in a very, very long time. So, hats off to Indiana. They won. They prevailed. And, hey, rightfully so. They were the team this year that was built for it. And one last thing. This is what the portal does. And this is why I like the portal in NIL. I know a lot of people don't care for it. But this is why I like it. For the simple fact that teams like Indiana can vie for a national championship.
Yeah.
I know some people may not care for it, and maybe they need to put a little bit more rules and regulations with NIL, and that's cool and that's fine with it. Indiana's a no-name, when it comes to football, a no-name team.
Yeah.
I mean, so this is why I think it's exciting. So I'm really looking forward to next season, man. I just think, man, it's going to be amazing, to watch. So hats off to you, Indiana.
Yeah. And did you know? Third time in a row that a Big Ten team has won a national championship. Because Michigan won it, Ohio State won it, and now Indiana.
Well, man, I guess I got to stop.
You need to stop dogging on Big Ten. What you do, because you always want Ohio State to lose.
You're right.
You always want Ohio State to lose.
But that's just Ohio State. I don't care about Ohio State. I can't. But I tell you what, I found a new team in the Big Ten, man, and that's Indiana. Go Indiana.
Blow the whistle. Blow the whistle. Blow the whistle.
All right, now we're going to talk about the Seahawks versus Rams upcoming NFC Championship game. So notable things from each team. The Seahawks' defense has only allowed 17.2 points per game and 47 sacks. And a trend that I see with them is that they finished their season with a long win streak late in the season. They've also blown out 49ers and in the playoffs, and that's basically what they've done. All right, on the Rams side, they're the number one in the NFL for total offense with 394.6 yards per game and 30.5 points per game. And they are ranked top overall in combined offense and defense. Notable playoff games they've won are the Bears and the Panthers, but they struggled in both of them. And kind of uneasy for the Rams because when you're going up against the Panthers, a team that isn't even positive with a record, and you're letting them score 31 points, that's a big issue. A really big issue. But some key players to watch out for is Jackson Smith-Njigba on Seahawks and Puka Nacua and Matthew Stafford on the Rams. That duo is elite. Seahawks defense will slow down LA's offense. This is basically a immovable shield versus an unstoppable spear. It's what team can it's either if the Seahawks can stop the Rams or the Rams can blow past the Seahawks. And this will be a close game. No doubt about it. Sadat, who do you have winning the game and why?
Man, on one hand, I really do think that the Seahawks are for real. And I think they are legit this year. On the other hand, I'm not even going to mention the Rams. I'm going to mention one person, Matthew Stafford. And this game, I have to go with the Rams. I'm going to have to take the Rams on this one, man. For the simple fact that Matthew Stafford, since he came into the league, if we're being honest, man to man, he has been the most productive and best quarterback we've had in the league. It just so happened that he was in Detroit, and we all know about that back in the day with Detroit.
Yeah, they did not win in Detroit.
No. This year, I thought Matthew Stafford wasn't going to do nothing because of his whole back injury. He is considered to be an MVP this year.
Yeah. He is
Right?
considered an MVP, yeah.
And all the stats you went over, man, I'm for it. I get it. But you know what this game is going to come down to? 4 people, and you mentioned it. It's going to come down to Darnold and how you pronounce his last name? Njigba?
Jackson Smith, Nick Jigba.
Nick Jigba.
No, Nick Jigba. There's no G after before J.
1, 2, 3. This game going to come down to 4 people. Darnold and Smith, Nick Jigba,
Yeah.
and Matthew and Puka. That's it, in my opinion. And where the edge go to is, I believe it is going to be Matthew Stafford. That's where I'm going. So who's going to win? I think it's going to be a close game because Seattle's defense is really, really good. But Matthew is the only quarterback in this game who's already survived it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm going with. Because I do think that Matthew Stafford is probably as good as he is. I don't think Matthew gets talked about enough, but at the same time, I don't think Sam Darnold gets talked about enough. You know? But this is about Matthew Stafford, man. I mean, he doesn't throw to, open up anything. His throws is like inevitable. This dude is throwing the ball without even looking at receivers.
Yeah.
He's sick. The ball leaves his hand, man. I'm not lying. When he throws the ball, that ball, I swear that ball is like late for work or something. I'm telling you, man, it gets there in a hurry. I'm telling you, the dude has a cannon. So, man, look, the Rams got this, man. The Rams got this.
Look, if you would have told me before the season started that Sam Darnold would bring the Seattle Seahawks to the Super Bowl, I would have laughed in your face. Or to the championship, I would have laughed in your face. But look, man, I'm going with the Seahawks because that offense, it don't matter. It don't matter if the Rams' offense is better. Sam Darnold could just sling it out to Jackson Smith and Jigba. That boy has 1,700 yards, more than 1,700 yards. Probably going to be the offensive player of the year. And with a defense that causes a ton of problems and also hasn't even put up or hasn't given up more than 20 points per game. Look, the Rams defense is pretty whack. I'm going to say that because when the Panthers put up 31 on you, that's a problem. When the Bears almost come back against you, that's a problem. But Seattle, except for that Rams game where they won in overtime, has never had any big defensive problems.
Okay, I get what you're saying. And I hear you, and everything you said is the truth.
Yeah.
They do have a good defense, and the Rams defense is kind of suspect.
Yeah.
But I'm going to stay with Stafford and Puka Nakua. Now, whereas I think offensively, as much as I like Sam Darnold needs a system to work for him. You know what Stafford is?
Independent.
He is the system.
Yeah.
Everything relies on Matthew Stafford. Pressure makes diamonds. Stafford exposes cracks. Look throughout the playoffs. He gonna find the crack. That's what I know about Matthew Stafford since he's been on a good, productive team. When he have a team around him, Matthew Stafford is it. I mean, Stafford, man, I'm telling you, I can't, I want to go for Seattle. And if Seattle win, hey, man, bravo to it. But at the same time, listen, Matthew Stafford is a Texan. So I'm just saying, I know he's a Texan. So typically, you know me, I always ride with Texans. But I'm not even looking at it that way. I'm looking at it for the simple fact that Matthew Stafford, he's tested for this. I mean, I think where there is going to be a problem is the crowd and the defense. Because Seattle's defense is a problem. They are.
Oh, yeah.
And the Rams better have an answer for Smith, whatever for Smith.
Jackson Smith.
For Jackson Smith. Oh, don't he have an initial that they call him?
JSN.
JSN. Hey, man, they're going to have to find an answer for JSN. And if you can find that answer for JSN and you can crowd that box from them running, I'm going to give it to the Rams.
Yeah. I also would not be shocked if the Rams won, lost. Look, both these teams do deserve to be in the Super Bowl. And Matthew Stafford, he does have that experience over Sam Darnold with being at this late stage. Well, Sam Darnold hasn't been. But look, I know pressure makes diamonds. But the Seahawks are going to pressure Matthew Stafford so much that he cracks and turns into dust. He ain't going to be no diamond.
Well,
He's going to turn into dust.
we're going to see.
Hey, this is basically the best defense versus the best offense. This is the best game that you can have for the national championship.
You're right, because you did mention that the Rams have the absolute best offense.
Yes. Total
And that
offense.
production, I would say 3/4 of it is coming from Matthew Stafford.
Yeah.
So Seattle will need to put pressure, because I will say this. I saw a stat on Matthew Stafford. Let me see if I can find it. A stat on him for being under pressure. And I will say it didn't look good.
Yeah.
So Matthew Stafford's passer rating drops 12 points when pressured. So with that being said, that's what Seattle has to do, is generate pressure. And here's the thing. I will say this about the Seahawks. The Seahawks generate pressure without blitzing
Oh, yeah.
at literally a top 5 NFL rate. That's the one good thing. They don't have to waste a man blitzing. You know what I mean? Now, if they blitz with the pressure of that front four, that's going to be hard, man.
Yeah, that's going to create a lot of
But
problems.
then again,
It's
Matthew Stafford has never lost a conference championship game.
Yeah, because he's only been to like one.
I knew you were going to say
He's
that.
only been to one, so
Hey, man.
you can't say he's never lost when he's only been to one.
No, I get that. And he's seen everything, but this defense is different.
Oh,
So I will give that to him. And that's the problem with this Seattle defense. And to that, they're the top 5 scoring defense, red zone, TD rating, allowed. They are at the bottom. They're elite when it comes to that. Opponents average under 18 points per game in Seattle. And Seattle has held the Rams under 22 points of regulations in both meetings.
That's really good.
And what's the have the Seahawks and Rams, what was their record against each other this year?
1-1. The Rams won, and then the Seahawks won in overtime.
Yeah. So, and the Rams offense, I mean, they depend on big plays. I will say that. And I think that's why Matthew Stafford looks like an MVP player, because they generate big plays,
Yeah.
Heavily reliant on timing and protection. And that's the thing that Seattle has to disrupt, is that timing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But again, for Matthew Stafford, that offense, Stafford is elite when you give him enough time.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. And I know I keep harping on that. And he's maybe average or even below average when you pressure him a lot. You know what I'm saying? And the offensive line of the Rams, they are literally at the bottom, when it comes to pressure rates.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I believe in Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, I think he said, let's go snatch these guys' hearts. I thought that was like one of the most gangster things you could say in that moment, honestly. And to hear him say that and then throw the touchdown and then the look on his face after that was just like MVP stuff.
It's just a matter of how fast can Matthew Stafford get hot. Because once he's hot, it don't matter.
Yeah.
It don't matter if there's pressure. And that's when Seattle, I think, has to surprise the Rams and be like, all right, we're going to pressure you as much as we can without taking rid of our coverage.
Yeah.
And they're going to try to limit Puka Nakua and Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams, 14 touchdowns about. Puka Nakua, he's been doing good. So they're going to try to limit them as much as they can. Probably going to be double teams.
Yeah.
So we just have to see who gets hot first.
Yeah. And Kenneth Walker he's going to have to carry it.
Really?
Because Zach Charbonnet, he's out.
Yeah.
So it's just him. But I do think Kenneth Walker can do it. Interesting thing about the Rams and their running game, Kieran Williams. Did you know that they're 5-0 when he scores a touchdown?
What, just scores a touchdown in the game?
The Rams are 5-0 this season when Kieran scores a touchdown.
Huh.
However, the Seahawks in the red zone, they're tough.
They are the best.
So the Seahawks, looking at my stats, they're undefeated at home when holding opponents under 100 yards in rushing.
Yeah, that's going to be tough. And the Rams, look, they have a rushing attack, but when they're up against the Seahawks or those top 5, top 10 defenses, they struggle in the run defense.
Yeah.
Why? Because those defenses have a strong run game and strong run stopping abilities. So
Yeah.
it just depends on if the offense for the Rams can get hot first or the defense pressures Matthew Stafford.
And get this is pretty interesting. One of those things that make you go, Teams with the top 5 defense, positive turnover margin, and home field, they win the NFC Championship game 70% of the time.
Hey, this is the new Legion of Boom, man. This is the no-fly zone. Or, hey, 2013. That's all I'm saying.
And another interesting fact, the Seahawks never lost an NFC Championship game at home. Here's another interesting thing. The Rams never lost to the Seahawks in the playoffs. Something's got to give.
Someone's got to give. Someone's going to have that one first loss. Right? Maybe Seahawks may be undefeated. That's the whole thing.
So, listen, man, some got to give, right?
Yes.
I mean, something has to break. Either Seattle's home field invincibility or the Rams' playoff dominance
Against the Seahawks.
against the Seahawks, right?
Yeah.
Both can't survive.
No.
Something's going to, and I think that this is why it's going to be really, really good. And I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a good game, but I'm going to have to ride with the Rams on that. And you riding with
The no-fly zone. Seahawks. But hey, who knows?
Blow the whistle. Blow the whistle. Blow the whistle.
All right, so the next and final game we'll be discussing today is the Patriots versus Broncos, an AFC Championship. Notable trends I see from the Broncos. Offensively, total offense, 342. That's 10th in the league. But points per game is 14th with 23.6. Defense is where it shines. 18.3 points allowed per game. That's third. And they are top third in yards allowed with 68 total sacks, which leads the NFL. And their turnover differential is -3. Defensively, this is the best we've seen from the Broncos. They can cause pressure. They can get sacks. They can force turnovers. They deny big plays. New England, with 4,400 passing yards and 2,100 rushing yards, with a balanced attack from Trayvon Henderson, Ramondre Stevenson, and a little bit of Antonio Gibson, because he did get hurt. That's pretty good when you're getting 2,100 yards between those three. And 31 passing touchdowns. And leading this Patriots team is Drake May. Drake May. And he is performing at an elite level. For only his sophomore year as well, mind you, he's playing elite. I would not be surprised if the Patriots won. Who do you have winning this game?
I'm riding with the Broncos because they have home field advantage in Sean Payton. I'm riding with them. I think Sean Payton is built for every situation that the NFL can throw at you. Yeah, granted, he only have one Super Bowl, but it's something about Sean Payton and his game planning. I mean, in the playoffs, Sean Payton, rarely is he unprepared for everything. I know Bo Nix is not playing, but I'm not even worried about Steedham as much as everybody else is because of Sean Payton. I'm just being 100 because here's the thing this is what I do know. This is going to be a defensive first game, period. Both of them have top tier defenses in the AFC. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Good. Drake May, outstanding season. I'm not going to take anything away from the Patriots. But you mentioned something. You said they ain't play nobody. Mm-hmm. I'm looking at their schedule right now.
Yeah.
And guess what? I'm going to agree 100% with you. Because they played the Raiders. They lost 3 games. The first one, what I always say about the first game of the year, I just throw that out the window. They lost to the Raiders. Now let's talk about all the rest of the teams. They beat Miami. We know what Miami is. Trash. They beat Pittsburgh. No, they lost to Pittsburgh. 21-14. Okay. Again, first 3 games of the season. Now this is where it really starts finding your groove. They beat Carolina when Carolina was trying to get to where Carolina was at the end of the season, right?
Yeah.
They beat Buffalo. Well, we really know what Buffalo really is, huh? 23-20. They beat New Orleans. They beat Tennessee. They beat Cleveland. They beat Atlanta. They beat Tampa Bay. They beat the Jets. They beat Cincinnati. The Giants. They lost to Buffalo 35-31 again. I'm going to say it again. Buffalo was a fraud this year.
Oh, yeah.
I don't care what y'all can't convince me otherwise. They beat Baltimore, and we know what Baltimore was this year, trying to get into the playoffs, and they didn't. The Jets and Miami. Tell me. Your defense is going to always look good when you're playing bottom feeders, man.
Yeah.
You know what bottom feeders are in the ocean? They can't even swim. They have to crawl.
Yeah.
That's why they call them bottom feeders.
Yeah.
So there you have it. Now, you may say, well, Dad, what about the Broncos? Well, let's see what the Broncos did. They beat Tennessee. They lost to Indianapolis. They lost to the Chargers. They beat Cincinnati. They beat Philadelphia. They beat the Jets. They beat the Giants. They beat the Cowboys. They beat the Texans. They beat the Raiders. They beat the Chiefs. They beat Washington, the Raiders, the Packers. They lost to Jacksonville. They beat the Chiefs. And then they beat the Chargers. You tell me, which defense do you think is better?
I'm going to tell you right now the Broncos defense is better. But here's the problem. Look, and I'm not picking the Patriots. Like, I'm not saying I'm not fully confident in the Patriots as well. I have them, it's like a 51-49 split. You win against the Broncos. Okay. You win against Jared Stidham, a guy that only has 1,000 yards, passing yards, and 4 touchdowns. Cool. That should have been a game you should have won. Mm-hmm. But also, if you lose, you lost to Jared Stidham. So it is kind of a 51-49 split. This defense for the Broncos can carry this team. And if Jared Stidham makes the correct plays and manages the game well, they could win this game. It's going to be a close game, but they can win. It's just the defense needs to be relied more upon. They need to create more pressures, create more turnovers, and allow Jared Stidham to play comfortably and not play behind. You have to deny the Patriots to score first. You have to always be in front when you have a backup quarterback, like Jared Stidham.
Yeah, I 100% I agree with that. And the reason why I say this is a defensive game, or defense first, is because the Patriots are top tier, the best in the AFC when it comes to red zone defense. However, the Broncos are top 10 points allowed with 10. 10.
Yeah.
So, I mean, when both teams are ranked better defensively than offensively, that game is usually flipped, right?
Yeah.
Field position and mistakes, right? And typically whoever wins the first quarter, typically the fourth quarter is theirs.
Yeah.
So that's what it's really going to come down to. But the Patriots historically rank near the top in takeaways per game.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm anticipating them having takeaways because that's just Mike Vrabel.
Yeah. That's how he plays.
You know, yeah, that's his type of defense. And I will say this. I think altitude will matter.
Yeah.
It's going to be cold. And I get that New England is cold, but when we start talking about altitude,
It's going to be a problem.
it's going to be a problem, man.
Yeah.
So, we're going to see who lasts the longest. But I'm riding with Denver with this. Most people would say, you know, like, it's Drake May and the Patriots. I'm riding with Sean Payton.
For this Denver team. Score first. Trust your defense. Defense, do your job. Run out the clock. Do what Miami did against Ole Miss. Make the Patriots feel uncomfortable and make Drake May have to play behind. Because statistically, when quarterbacks play behind, bigger percentage that they make more mistakes.
Yeah, because the Patriots historically is among the least penalized teams in the NFL. And the Broncos are more aggressive, and I understand that because they have some bookend. They have some, not bookends, but their back end in the secondary, they're really good. So they tend to take and play up on receivers and stuff like that. So they tend to play a little bit more aggressive. I think the Patriots, are built on situational excellence because, again, Vrabel style coaching is almost like Bill Belichick. Hey, look, let's be situational. You know what I mean? Let's control that and everything else. And whereas Denver is more having to, is more of a defensive domination, plus they have quarterback play. However, with that, because you know what, and this is why I think too, that makes me think that Steedham and Sean Payton is gonna do well. Because if you really think about really what Bo Nix really did, he was like check down Charlie.
Yeah. Yeah.
But again, that is Sean Payton. And I think that he's going to carry the same thing. What I mean by that is that I think you can take Bo Nix, and I'm not saying Bo Nix and Steedham is equal.
No.
I'm not saying that they are. However, I do believe in a Sean Payton offense, you can plug and play. So we'll see, man.
Yeah. It just a defensive battle.
Yeah.
Blow the whistle. Blow the whistle. Blow the whistle.
All right, now we're going to talk about the NFL coaching situation. There's a lot of coaches that have been fired, hired. We're going to talk about three main ones and a defensive coordinator at the end. So first one we're going to talk about is Sean McDermott. And statistically, he is 98-50 in the regular season. He has 8 playoff appearances and 5 straight AFC East division titles. And he's 8-8 in the playoffs. But my question is, since he got fired, what is Buffalo going to do?
I don't know what Buffalo can do, but I can tell you right now, Sean McDermott, he should still be on that team coaching. Only reason why he's fired, which I still don't understand it, is because of Josh Allen. He's the reason why he's fired. I mean, Josh Allen, and players, I don't want to just put it all on Josh. Players are the reason why coaches get fired. We all know that. But this was not on McDermott. Because if you really look at their team, they took away players and didn't add players, especially on offense. But at the same time, hey, look, man, Josh Allen's supposed to carry a team like that.
Yeah.
He's supposed to do it. Yes. And now Josh Allen, and this is the thing about when you are these top players like this, man, you hold a whole franchise in your hand as a quarterback.
Yeah.
You're MVP. Only reason why that man is fired is because Josh Allen went on TV, in my opinion, crying. What he should have been doing is saying is, hey, look, man, I'm crying. When they ask the question, why are you crying? Is because I let my team down. No, I let my coach down. And then I let my team down. I let the ownership down. This is on me. And you should have looked in the camera and looked at the owner and said, nobody should be fired. Period.
Yeah.
And the minute that Sean McDermott's name came up, or suggestions came up about him being fired, Josh Allen should have walked his tail in the office and said, no, we're not firing him because this was on me.
Yeah.
Because now I'm sitting up here reading reportedly that Phillip Rivers
Yeah.
is interviewing for the head coaching position. This is going to be laughable to me, man. You literally had the coach. Only thing you needed to do was two things. Bring Josh Allen in the office, close the door and say, look here, man, this is what I need from you. I need you to carry this team. And I'm going to give you some extra players this year. And it's on you for next year to bring us where we need to be. After that, if you don't, now we got to have a conversation. If you belong here in this franchise. Period. That's all we need.
Yeah. Look, I get it. Josh Allen did not have help. He did not have help, especially because even their first pick wide receiver, Keon Coleman, he missed a couple of games because he wasn't making practices. I get that you didn't have, solid receivers or receivers that can at least make a play. But look, when you get the MVP, when you get that trophy, you are claiming to the entire world that, hey, I got this MVP, not because my team carried me, but because I carried my team to carry them to the playoffs.
I hear all of that, what you saying. But on the Patriots, who are their receivers? Can you name them? Because I can't remember. The only reason why I know one name because his last name is Booty. Booty.
Stephon Diggs? But he hasn't been really relevant.
Are we serious?
He hasn't been relevant.
If Stephon Diggs was worthy of proof of his oats, he'd still be in Buffalo.
Yeah. If he did not have an argument, a disagreement.
Okay, let me ask you this. Can you name the receivers on the Broncos?
Ooh, yeah, no.
There you go. So I don't want to hear this crap about Josh Allen and his receiver thing. I don't want to hear all that nonsense, man. You had a good tight end. You could have did this.
Yeah.
Okay? You could have did this. Because the Texans went as far as they did, having one receiver, Nico Collins, about 1,200 yards, and the second receiver was a tight end.
Yeah.
A tight end. And they still had a shot to win and go to the AFC Championship game. So, man, I don't want to hear none of this nonsense about Josh Allen not having receivers. I don't want to hear that. This is the reason why McDermott is not coaching this team. He's the reason why. So I don't care who they bring in. It really don't matter because to be truthful with you, Josh Allen is good enough to overcome. I mean, you just need to bring a a decent coach in. I don't think you need to sit up here and start bringing in no gimmick for sound. That's what Phillip Rivers is, man. Like, what are y'all doing? But you know what? Go ahead. Because you know what's going to happen when you bring Phillip Rivers in and that dude end up being the head coach? The Bills going to keep going throughout their history of always being close to winning the Super Bowl and not getting it.
Yeah. That's like their niche or their curse or something. But look, I'm going to say this. Final comments about Sean McDermott. He did bring this Bills team from a playoff drought. He brought this team back pretty quickly, and he did bring a quarterback, Josh Allen, who was a 0-star recruit from Wyoming, and brought him into this top 5 quarterback who won MVPs and can deliver this team to the playoffs. That's all I got to say. But look, wherever Sean McDermott goes, he's going to have a lot of success, I believe.
Oh, yeah. Most definitely.
Hey, Go to Baltimore. Let's do the same thing. They're in the same situation. You go to Baltimore and then
Hey,
boom.
now that you mention that, that may be a good safe landing zone.
Because think about it. Mobile quarterback that can also throw it far and improvise on the run. Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen. The only difference is Lamar Jackson has 2 MVPs.
Yeah.
And they do have a solid defense. They have a better defense than the Bills. So
I'm going to give that to you.
Okay, and receivers, look, and if McDermott goes there, there's no excuse for Lamar.
True.
Because he has Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews, Derrick Henry himself. And even their backup, Justice Hill, is a good receiving running back. So look, McDermott, the best option for McDermott, I believe, is the Ravens. They got what the Bills have and more. And if they lose, I'm pinning it on Lamar Jackson. That's who I'm going to pin on.
Yeah, man, I like that suggestion. You was quick on your feet on that one. I like that. You know what? That is a good landing zone, and especially if they can't bring in Tomlin. Oh yeah, I would definitely grab McDermott. I think he is good. That guy, everywhere he goes, man, he's steady. He rights the ship. He's even keel and everything else. I think he's an underrated coach. Yeah, man. And I think now, because he's shown that he can be successful as a head coach, I doubt if he'll ever go back to being a coordinator because, man, I would love to see him in Dallas as a defensive coordinator. That'd be awesome.
Hey, yeah.
But anyway,
and he's going into a system where he has top 5 quarterback, running back that's dominant, and even receivers. The Ravens receivers are no joke. Zay Flowers, Rashawn Bateman, all that stuff. He has, I wouldn't say he doesn't have an excuse. Lamar Jackson. I feel like John Harbaugh went to the Giants because of Jackson Dart. Because Jackson Dart, he kind of reminds me of Lamar Jackson. Running improvisers, but Jackson Dart kind of takes more hits than he should. But I do feel like John Harbaugh could make success happen, but I feel like it's going to be too late when he does.
Man, look, this is so laughable. I'm not for sure what the Giants are thinking. I'm not for sure if they're trying to replicate Tom Coughlin era or what. But John Harbaugh could not even win with the 2-time MVP. The last time he did anything was in 2013 when he won a Super Bowl. That's it. You had all that ammunition from 2013 to now and nothing. Did you know, and this is why I say this is laughable, and this is quite all right with me, Giants, that you bring John Harbaugh. And I know that y'all think this is a good hire, but I'm going to tell you, this is why this is a farce. This is laughable. Historically, John Harbaugh is a choker as a coach. He has overseen 17 blown double-digit second-half leads, the most by any NFL head coach since 1991. Oh, we're not done. It gets better. 4-quarter collapses. He has overseen 46 4-quarter leads since 2008. 46 blown 4-quarter leads since 2008, which ties for the second most in the NFL during that span. And that's who you want. Despite having a talented roster, listen to this. In the Lamar Jackson era, Harbaugh teams have struggled to close games. From 2020 to 2025, the Ravens were 23-24 and one-score games. So thank you, Giants, for bringing John Harbaugh in, because I'm not for sure what you're trying to do. Numbers don't lie. He has been the coach of talented teams, and he's historically a choker, and 46 blown fourth quarter collapses. That's who
Yeah.
you bring in?
Yeah, that is.
Because this is why let me say this. If they would have brought him in, see, this is the double standard I can't stand when it comes to the NFL. Because if the Cowboys would have hired this man, you know what? They wouldn't be saying this. They wouldn't be saying, oh, this is a great coach. This is a great hire. You know what they would be saying? 46 blown fourth quarter leads. 17 double-digit blown leads.
Yeah, we would be the laughing stock of the NFL.
Yeah. Because nobody could sit up here and tell me and justify to me besides that 1 year.
And even then, he had the top 5 defense at that time. He had Ray Lewis, Haloti Naga, Terrell Suggs, Ed Reed. He had all these Pro Bowlers lined up in his defense. And even on offense, Jacoby Jones, Joe Flacco. It doesn't matter when you have the team at that time was arguably the best we have ever seen defensively.
The man is 2-4 since winning the Super Bowl in the playoffs. So he's 500. I mean, he made the playoffs in his first 5 seasons with Ray Lewis and Ed Reed. And since then, he struggled to even replicate that. What? I mean, again, 2-time MVP Lamar Jackson, and you can't get... And he struggled with Lamar Jackson to make the AFC conference team. Conference championship, I mean, look, man, I'm not sold.
Yeah, I'm not.
On John Harbaugh. Yeah. And I've always said and thought, I shouldn't say, I've always thought he was always this overhyped coach. If you remove, which I understand we can't, but if you remove that 2013 year,
what do you have?
Tell me, what do you have?
Exactly. And it's not even with Lamar. You had Derrick Henry. You had a top 5 defense last year. You had Nani Minbuike on the defense. You had Roquan Smith. You had Marlon Humphrey. You had all these all-pros, NFL all-pros, people who have made the first team all-pro in the NFL. And you couldn't get past the divisional round? You couldn't make a conference championship once? Look, John, people are going to credit you because you won a Super Bowl.
That's the only thing he has attached to him that's good. And again, when you have a historical defense in that 2013, if you really look at it, you had Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, Nada. All of them. That was a good team. And if you really look at that game, that's who won that game.
Oh, yeah.
Was that defense.
Yeah. That defense ended the game.
That they won that game. And if you look at this, the AFC North, during that era, they weren't really strong. I mean, Pittsburgh, the Ravens, Cleveland, and Cincinnati. What? I mean, okay, Pittsburgh for a while. But what, since Roethlisberger, Pittsburgh's been looking for a quarterback. They haven't really been up there. If they were up there, Tomlin would have still been with Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? I mean, what are you getting from Cincinnati?
Oh, it's losing season. We're losing this season. It's a coin toss, honestly.
I mean, in Cleveland, oh, come on, man. Stop it. Listen, man, I don't want to rain on y'all parade, but somebody got to do it. And I do think he's going to come out fast and it's going to look good for a couple of years and everything else. But numbers don't lie. Proof is always in the pudding. Because I don't even know really what John Harbaugh's specialty is. I don't know if he's offensive. I don't know if he's defensive. Only thing I knew about John Harbaugh before he even took the job was that he was a special teams coach. He was a special teams coach when he got hired for this job. So I don't know. And I'm starting to think that, hey, he better have a good offensive coordinator and a good defensive coordinator around him. And I'm not taking nothing away from Jackson Dart. I do think that Jackson Dart is the real deal. But New York fans, you know who else was the real deal too? Lamar Jackson. Who's the next coach you're talking about?
Next coach and final head coach we're going to be talking about is Kevin Stefanski. And this one, this one shocks me a lot. Because Kevin Stefanski, you look at John Harbaugh, Super Bowl, you look at Sean McDermott, brought the Bills from playoff drought and got Josh Allen. But when you look at Kevin Stefanski, led the Browns to 2 playoff appearances, earned 2 NFL Coach of the Year awards. Time out. So, John Harbaugh got fired, even though he won a Super Bowl. Sean McDermott got fired. Why? Because he couldn't go to the Super Bowl. Kevin Stefanski gets fired reasonably because he's only led the Browns to 2 playoff appearances. And who brings them? The Atlanta Falcons. The Chocolate City. Now I'm confused. So you're going to get Kevin Stefanski, who is offensive minded, mind you, and leads a Cleveland Browns team who has been bottom 10 in offense this year, 2022, and 2021. You had no success outside of the divisional round. You lost, essentially, in the divisional round. The only person you won against Pittsburgh in 2020. And then you went to the divisional round. But then the Chiefs beat you. Then you're like, okay, we got Joe Flacco. We're going to go 2023. And who did you lose to? You lost to the Texans. And Kevin Stefanski, I don't see the picture in Atlanta. And I know Atlanta fired Raheem Morris because he's 8-9. And he couldn't bring that team to the playoffs. Now, Atlanta is a very talented defense. Michael Penix, Bijan Robinson, Drake London, Kyle Pitts, Darnell Mooney, Justin Simmons, Jesse Bates. You have the pieces to the puzzle, but you need the guy who can fit those pieces and turn them pieces into a puzzle. It's not a sense of, yeah, we have the best defense. It's who created the best defense. I'm just confused by that. I'm extremely confused. So is Kevin Stefanski gonna turn this Atlanta team around?
No. This is laughable. This is Atlanta. Chocolate City. As much as I love Atlanta, this is laughable. So you mean to tell me, and I understand what you're saying about Rasheed Morris not doing well there. The last 2 years, 16-8. Do you know the record of Kevin Stefanski the last 2 years?
Well,
With a really good defense the last 2 years.
Top 10 defense, yes.
He was 8-26. And you gonna bring that in? And you bringing that in. So to me, you didn't upgrade nothing.
You downgraded.
You downgraded. Because get this, I don't want to hear that nonsense about quarterbacks. If that's the case, your best years were with Mayfield. Why did you let Baker Mayfield out the door? For who?
Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun Watson.
And then he had a whole...
This is what I'm saying. So you're going to hire a person the last 2 years that's 8-26. You get rid of the quarterback who gave you your best years to win Coach of the Year. for Deshaun Watson that you picked. And look at your team now. And
Yep.
y'all want to sit in Atlanta. I mean, do you not look at history? Everything this man has touched, I don't know what's going on. So, but let me look. Even though this man is a 2-time coach of the year, his record is 45-56 overall. And he's a 2-time coach of the year. We got that, right? Since December 2023, Stefanski held a 10-28 record, including the playoffs, which was described as the worst for an active coach in that 2-year period. His offenses are stagnant, right? Because they don't have a quarterback. Now, unless Atlanta's going to somehow miraculously go and get a legit quarterback, and even then, Stefanski ain't going to be happy with that. Because you had a decent one, and I'm not bloviating for Baker Mayfield. But come on, man. His teams lack discipline. It's always questioning in-game decisions with Stefanski. It seemed like every week that they lose a close game, there's always something that they're questioning about what he did. And I'm telling you, what's going to haunt this man for the rest of his career is going to be that Baker Mayfield and Deshaun Watson saga. That's going to haunt him because it was his decision to get rid of Baker Mayfield to bring in Deshaun Watson. Why in the world would you bring in trouble when your team is trouble? We talking about Cleveland historically is trouble. A black cat. Stephen A. Smith always talking about a black cat follow the Cowboys. A black cat is always following Cleveland. Matter of fact, Cleveland should change their name to the Cleveland, not Cleveland Browns, but the Cleveland Blacks. Black Cats. Man, I don't know what Atlanta is doing with this. And I'm going to tell you another thing too. I think not only did they make the wrong decision bringing Stefanski, another thing that's going to follow him is that whole saga with him and Sanders. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
Him and Shador, that's going to follow him with that. And people remember that. Yeah. Do you know? And here's the irony and what's so crazy about him going to Atlanta. Deion Sanders started his career in Atlanta, and Atlanta loves Deion Sanders. And you bringing in a coach who had a saga with his son. With his son. You bringing that into Chocolate City. Into Atlanta. Oh my goodness. Now, I'm not for sure. I think besides picking him, another bad thing Atlanta did, Matt Ryan as your
President?
Matt Ryan? What do y'all think this is? John Elway and the Broncos? Stop it already with this stuff. It's like Atlanta, and if Buffalo brings in Phillip Rivers, it's like y'all bringing in these cheap acts to get people to think you're doing something, to get the fans believing that y'all doing something. Y'all not doing nothing with this, man. Just stop it already. This is another one of those laughable things with Jim Harbaugh. These are the two worst hires that these teams could have even brought in my opinion. I just think that they're laughable. This is not fruitful. It's fruitless. So, again, it is what it is, man. So, I'm
It is
through.
what it is. It is what it is. I don't think Atlanta's going to have success with Stefanski, and all that talent going to wash down that drain. And the final person, or defensive coordinator that we will be talking about briefly, is Christian Parker. Now, Christian Parker has coached Patrick Surtain, Cooper DeJean, Quinyon Mitchell. So around the secondary, that's basically where he shines. And he did lead that defense, that Eagles defense last year, to the Super Bowl. And that defense was dominant in the Super Bowl. So can he bring that success to the Cowboys? And can the Cowboys give him the pieces he needs?
I don't know if he can bring the success to the Cowboys, but this is what I do know. And this is one of the most surprising things about the Cowboys, as much as I love and follow the Cowboys. They're not bringing in a big name defensive coordinator, which is something that they typically do. This lets me know that maybe Jerry and Steven are kind of allowing Schottenheimer to kind of pick his own defensive coordinator, because this seems more like a Schottenheimer, hey man, I want somebody young, exciting. Because I'm gonna be honest, I don't know that much about Christian, that much. Not as much as you do. I just know he was the secondary coach with Philadelphia. And I do like this new energy and new direction that the Cowboys are going, because at first I was kind of all in with them bringing in Brian Flores. But this is more of an interesting pick. I think that this is probably what they need, something different. Because again, this is something unusual for Dallas to do.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of excited about that. Now, you're right. This ain't going to mean a hill of beans if the Cowboys don't bring in the right people. So this also makes me excited, because it leads me to believe that Dallas is willing to spend some money and use the draft for defense.
Yeah, the whole draft for defense.
Yeah,
Please.
it just looks like a whole different, direction.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about it, but at the same time, listen, I need people to understand this. I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan, but I'm a realist. I'm not one of those Dallas Cowboys fans that every year, they're going to the Super Bowl. No, I'm a realist. Always have been. I love the Cowboys. My wagon is hitched to them. So, period. I will always, blue blood, Dallas Cowboys. Now, I don't know if this hire is going to do anything. I don't know, but I'm excited about it.
Yeah. Fair. All right, so we're rolling out something new. At the end of every episode, we're dropping a question that lives deep in the culture, the kind of debate that never really ends. And today, we're starting with a good one. A question that split barbershops, timelines, group chats, and Thanksgiving tables for years. Who's better, Michael Jordan or LeBron James? And it's not just basketball, it's eras, legacies, and dominance versus longevity. Rings versus records. Peak versus prime that never ends. Everyone's got an opinion. Everybody's convinced they're right. So let's talk about it. So, who do you think is better? Michael Jordan or LeBron James?
And I'm supposed to tell the truth and be unbiased, right?
Yes.
Okay. So this may take a minute. Now I want to make sure I get this right. Growing up in the 80s and 90s, Michael Jordan was my dude. I had a wall just dedicated to Michael Jordan. My first ever shoes that I actually wanted without my mom or dad going to buy me shoes, I wanted, was the Jordan 1s. And I remember like yesterday, my dad, your grandfather, took me to Foot Locker in San Jacinto Mall in Baytown, Texas, to get me my first pair of J's. And I kept them clean too. He had a cowl about how much they were. So for me, Jordan was a big part of my upbringing, and he's a big part of the culture. And I think what resonates so much in the minds of people from my generation, why Jordan stands out as the greatest, because it transcends what he did on the court. Jordan was probably the best, not probably, Jordan was the best scorer of all times. And it's not just scoring, it's the way he scored. We never seen someone move in the air the way he did, the stuff he was doing on the court. He was like the first person to do that, right? But his influence on the culture, the Jays and stuff like that, every year around that time of the NBA All-Star game,
Yeah.
Jays dropped. And that was a big thing for us as teens and stuff like that. To, hey, we get to see what they're gonna look like, and we running. And in my case, I literally had to go cut 4 or 5 yards so I can go buy him. And that's what I did every year. It's the only time I cut grass, somebody else's grass, was so I can get some J's. Now, if I'm being unbiased, Michael Jordan is in my top 3 favorite players of all times.
Yeah.
Top 3. LeBron's not in my top 3 of favorite. But if you're asking me who's the best basketball player out of the 2, can't believe I'm saying this, it's LeBron James. It's LeBron James. Now, it does not mean he's my favorite, and it doesn't mean he's going to replace Michael Jordan, who's the greatest in my eyes. But LeBron James is 41, 42 years old.
41.
And this guy is still putting up and averaging in 20s. LeBron James, 50,000 points, combined career points, regular season and playoff. 50,000.
That's a lot.
All-time scoring record, 40,000 plus. 1,200 plus consecutive games with 10 points, 10 or more points. 20 plus all NBA team selection. Right?
Yeah.
8,000 plus playoff career points. Finals MVPs, he has 3 with 3 different teams. No, Finals MVP with 3 different teams. Top 5 in all-time points and assists. And here's my thing. I love Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan, when he left, they won a championship. And I think they were like 58 or 50 something wins. He left. Do you know that Scottie Pippen the following year had almost the same exact wins without Michael Jordan?
I did not know that. No.
And did you know that before Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan used to get his butt whipped? Michael Jordan used to get his butt whipped. And we used to watch it. And if we honest with ourselves, he used to get his butt whipped. It really wasn't until Scottie Pippen came into the league and Scottie Pippen found his footing that Michael Jordan took off. Now, I'm not saying that makes Jordan any less, because you do need help. But LeBron James won titles in Miami. He won one in Cleveland. And he won one in LA. Now, get this. And I want to make this clear, because let me look it up. LeBron James went to the finals 10 times in a row. I'm not saying, yeah, he lost a lot of them, But in 2007, when did LeBron James come into the league? In 2003. 2003. LeBron James had his team in the finals. They lost in 4 years. Michael Jordan didn't do that. Just saying. Michael Jordan was in the league for 7, 8 years, bro. This kid came in. I'm just saying. And I'm not taking nothing away from Jordan, because Jordan's my GOAT.
Yeah.
But it's almost crazy for me to say he's the GOAT, greatest of all times, when I look at LeBron has done every meaningful record in the NBA that we look at. He passed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar last year, man. And LeBron James can literally go 2 more years after this.
Yeah.
LeBron James is what, 6'7", 6'8". He is an immovable object. So what you got to say about it?
Okay. I know you talked about records and stats. I'm going to rebuttal that with awards and with championships. Michael Jordan. Let's look at these stats side by side. Michael Jordan. 6-0 in the finals. 6 finals MVPs. 5 regular season MVPs. 1 defensive player of the year. 11 NBA first teams. 9 all defensive first teams. 10 scoring titles, which is an NBA record. He has more career points per game than LeBron, 30.1. And even in the playoffs, 33.4, which both of them are an NBA record. Win shares, 214. Olympic gold medals, 2, tied with LeBron. They both had rookie of the years, and they both won All-Star Game MVPs. Yeah. The thing that I am like relying or kind of going to Jordan's side is that, yeah, LeBron James went to the finals 10 times.
Mm-hmm.
But he lost 6 of them. He's won 4.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Jordan went to the finals, and he won all of them. Now, okay, it's because of teammates. Well, guess who LeBron James had? 2012, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh. 2013, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, and Ray Allen. 2016, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Love. And 2020, Anthony Davis, Dwight Howard. And that was also in the bubble.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, Michael Jordan didn't play against anyone. Yeah, and Bill Russell has 11 level finals MVP, or 11 finals. And he went up against plumbers, but no one's bringing him in the category or conversation and go. Why? Because he won against nobody. And he was on a great Celtics team through that 11 years.
Mm-hmm.
And he was all around just better than everyone else. He was the best player around that time. And I think this debate isn't between, it's more difficult to talk about because I feel like Michael Jordan had the highest peak that anyone had. But LeBron James has a longevity where he cannot get out of his prime. It's basically against peak. It's peak versus longevity. And I don't think you can really compare peak versus longevity because, yes, LeBron James should have more points than Michael Jordan because he's played way more than Michael Jordan has.
Mm-hmm.
And he's played more than all these people have. And yes, he should go, he should have all these first team NBA, all these scoring titles, whatever. And he's first in all these NBA records because he played more than Jordan. Jordan had the most points per game in the playoffs and in the regular season, most in the NBA. And that's all I gotta say. Air Jordan forever.
I'm with you. I'm just making a case and an argument if I'm being non-biased. Because I am to Jordan. But look here, man. All I know is that LeBron James can play all 5 positions and be elite at all 5 positions.
Yeah.
I can't say that about Jordan. I'm just saying that. I can't say that. I love Michael Jordan and watching his highlights. Awesome. Whereas when Jordan, look at it this way. When Jordan dominated games, LeBron was that he controlled the ecosystem.
Yeah.
Look at it that way. Jordan dominated games from the shooting guard position.
Yeah.
LeBron James can dominate games from the whole ecosystem, meaning at every position.
Yeah.
So,
But then again, LeBron James is way taller than Michael Jordan.
Hey,
And
man.
Michael Jordan was only.
Hey,
he
man.
can't play at the power forward.
Hey,
and he
bro.
can't play the center.
I'm not arguing DNA. I'm arguing, hey, this is what they are.
Bro,
This is what, hey, bro.
you can't.
I'm just telling you, man. Don't
Hey.
get mad at me. I'm
just saying, you
understand.
can't
But see,
expect-
but you got to take all that into consideration. Like, think about it. If Jordan and LeBron played 1-on-1, hey, man, it is what it is. If LeBron and Michael Jordan played 1-on-1, I'm sitting there on Jordan's side with my Jordan shoes on, rooting for Jordan, but I cannot deny that he's about to get beat. That boy is big.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, man, look, man, let's not sugarcoat this, man.
But what you're saying is like, oh yeah,
Here's the
Jordan
thing.
can't dominate.
Listen, at 21, Jordan was good, but he wasn't dominant. At 21, LeBron James was dominant, man. At 30, LeBron James was not dominant. At 39, LeBron James was dominant. Only thing I remember about Michael Jordan is Chicago. I don't want to remember him with the Washington Wizards because he wasn't dominant. He wasn't. LeBron James has been dominant since the day he stepped on the court all his years, man. I'm just telling you, and I understand what you're saying about, of course he's going to win it because he's been in it for a long time. That should tell you something. He has it. He has it. I can't say that about Michael Jordan when he was in. He just wasn't dominant every year. He went on a decline, man. Because it's hard for me to believe that if Jordan was as dominant late in his career, like LeBron, he wouldn't have stayed in longer. And yeah, I know people hoop and holler about, well, Jordan didn't want to do that. He wanted to do something different. And I'm with it. I'm cool. And I need everybody to understand something, man. I'm not saying that LeBron is better than Jordan. I'm just saying, man, we can't deny LeBron James either, bro. I mean, it is what it is, man. I mean, we got to give LeBron his respect, bro. I mean, you got to give it to him, man. So, yeah, we can sit up here and say Jordan went 6-0 in the finals. LeBron also went more times. And you can't take that away from him. And we're penalizing LeBron, man, because he lost against, man, look at the teams that he lost against, man. They were dominant that year, man. Where is it at? Finals opponents. That year, San Antonio, they lost to San Antonio 4-0. San Antonio was dominant, bro.
Yeah.
They were good. They lost to the Mavericks. The Mavericks had Dirk.
But Dirk was sick through that finals. He was sick during that finals.
Okay, so if that's the case, what Jordan was sick in the finals too. So
And
what
he
we
still-
talking about?
Well, it doesn't. Well, look, you lost.
What we talking about?
Okay, who was on that Mavericks?
I'm just telling you, hold up. Who they lost to, man? They lost to the Spurs twice. And the Spurs, on both of them, they were good. They lost to arguably one of the greatest teams of all times in 2015 to the Warriors. They lost to the Warriors again. Two more times, bro. those Warriors teams, bro, can literally beat every team that the Bulls played. That Michael Jordan Bulls played. And if you want to really dissect it, they beat a Lakers team who was on their last leg because Byron Scott, no James Worthy, neither one of them played. And this was the year that Magic Johnson with the AZEP thing. They were on their last leg, bro. So let's be honest. They played Portland. Bro, Portland had no business even being in that finals. Come on, man.
They had
Clyde
Clyde.
Drexler was a broke Michael Jordan. And everybody in my era know that. So don't even try that nonsense. Who else? Who we talking about? The Suns? Man, stop it. With Charles Barkley, that was probably their toughest finals. And the Utah Jazz twice. Come on, man. Y'all know, and y'all know I'm telling the truth, man. Let's be honest with this thing. I'm not gonna ever take anything away from Michael Jordan. If y'all go in my closet, y'all see I got a whole wall full of Jordans. Love him. I said, what? I buy Jordans, probably like twice a month.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm down with Jordan. But at the same time, man, I'm not gonna throw shade on LeBron James, bro. Not at no 41 years old, and this cat can still play.
Yeah. And I think he's like in the top two. It's them two.
Huh?
I think it's them two, Jordan and
Yeah,
LeBron.
it is.
It's really hard to make this case because LeBron, he had that longevity, and Michael, he had that peak, and like probably the highest peak where those 7-8 years and stuff like that where you win. Mm-hmm. But look,
Yeah.
I'm giving LeBron James his flowers. I'm giving Michael Jordan his flowers. It's really tough.
Yeah, because Jordan, man, don't get me wrong. Jordan is forever the greatest. I mean, just what he did, not only on the court, but what he did for the culture. And this is why I kind of like this debate, because in our culture, this is barbershop
Talk. Every
This is
single
like,
day.
in the culture, man, this is what we talk about with the cousins, the barbershop, or at the water hole with the fellas and stuff like that. And this is what makes this so great. And this could not have happened, for our culture if we didn't have two greats in our culture in Jordan and LeBron James. And that's why I really love this talk like this. Two greats, and that says a lot about our culture. You know what I mean? And I think that's what makes our culture so exciting. And this is why I like the fact that you thought of bringing this in to the podcast, talking about the culture and stuff like that. I tell you another good topic we can have too, man, within the culture that makes it really good. I know we're talking about the culture of Michael Jordan and LeBron, but I tell you another one that would probably get it, that would bring the house down.
What?
Michael Jackson, Prince. Because I know where you stand. And
I don't care.
Let's not even talk about it right now. Let's do it on the next one. But those type of things like that. Hey, let the culture. Hey, which one? Like your favorite Jordan shoes. Like which ones you put up?
Yeah.
And which ones I put up? I like that, and I think this is what enhances this podcast, and hopefully this is what makes your podcast so uniquely different from the other. So that's my take on it. Both legends within the culture. And so there it is.
Everyone has their opinions. And that's The Whistle. Loud, final, and unapologetic. We broke down the upcoming fall games. Now if guesses but with truth, who's built for January? Who's fool's gold? And who's about to find out that confidence doesn't block and height don't tackle? We dug into the new NFL coaching situations, fresh hires, pressure cookers, and jobs where the ink dries fast, but the clock moves faster. New voices, same league, zero patience. Then we stepped into our new cultural segment, where legacy gets tested and eras get compared, and greatness gets debated the right way, with context, impact, and receipts. And we debated the age-old question, Jordan or LeBron? Jordan was the movement. LeBron is the era. Different paths, same weight. And that debate is not going anywhere. So before you roll out, don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. And let us know who you got winning this weekend and who's your GOAT, Jordan or LeBron. Just remember, respect the culture and bring your A game. Until next time, you know what to do. Blow the whistle.